Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're talking all about the note of cotton candy. Oh, this makes me so excited. Like, I am pumped for this video. I really love and I'm always intrigued by cotton candy scent in fragrances. It makes me want to smell it like immediately. I feel like cotton candy just on its own is just so fun. It's sweet, it's like nostalgic, it's a little bit childish, a little bit whimsical, and I don't always love the way that it's done. Sometimes it can be a little bit much, but overall it's definitely something I enjoy in perfume and in fragrance. So I'm excited to share with you a ton of fragrances that either have a strong cotton candy note, are like basically entirely cotton candy. I also have some bonus options here that I feel like give off the vibe of cotton candy. They might not have a specific note, but something about them has that kind of airy sponge sugar scent going on. I thought I would share those with you. And I also have just another bonus item too to share. So I'm so excited. Let's just get into it. It's a fun one. Leave your favorite cotton candy scents down below too, because I want to check them out. I'm pretty sure we all know about Pink Sugar from AQUOLINA at this point, but if you want that like super sweet, very cotton candy, this has a little bit of licorice in it as well, and I do feel like I get a little bit of that, but it's just straight up sweet. Like, this is hitting the high note of sweetness. That's Pink Sugar for you, and it's affordable. So this one is definitely one to check out if you have not smelled this before. I'll leave a full list of notes as I go, but this one to me is I go back and forth. Sometimes I really love this scent, and other times I find it a little bit juvenile, and even sometimes a little bit syrupy. Like, it's right on the edge, but I definitely get just like Pink Sugar is the perfect name. It is a pink smelling sugar. I wish I got a little bit more of the air spun kind of quality from this, so it could be like straight up cotton candy, but to me this just has like a cotton candy note. Like, it just has that sugary note to it with a bunch of other things that doesn't quite make it full on cotton candy scent, but instead I feel like is just a perfume that has a cotton candy note, if that makes sense. So this is one to check out. But if you want some like variations of the cotton candy from Pink Sugar, they have other ones as well. Berry Blast also has that cotton candy note. This one to me is more like blue sugar. It's just blue sugar. You know how like scents can kind of just smell like colors? I get that this is the blue sugar version of this. It almost smells too like, if you had scented markers, the purple one, I feel like this kind of smells like the purple one, which is supposed to be grape, but it smells like those scented markers, honestly. That's what this smells like. So there's that. And then if you want something with a little bit more of a brightness to it, to me this has a lot more of like an orange blossom kind of scent, a little bit more of a floral going on. Creamy Sunshine is a good one. It has that like Pink Sugar DNA, but then it has almost like a bitter floral going on. Anyway, I'm gonna move off of the AQUOLINA scents, but these are definitely a great bang for your buck if you're looking for just straight up sugary sweet scents. I don't think they're the most refined, don't get me wrong, but they definitely get the job done, and they're super duper sweet, and again, super affordable. What's nice about the cotton candy note is that usually they're more inexpensive perfumes. I feel like not a lot of like super niche perfumes are using cotton candy, but I would love to know your favorite niche perfumes that do have a cotton candy note. If you have like a favorite, please let me know. Next on my list, this is a newer fragrance. This is from Le Monde Gourmand, and you can get these fragrances at Urban Outfitters. You can get it on their own site, but they do a lot more like fun and affordable gourmand type scents, so they're usually food inspired overall. And this one came out with the spring, I believe, like carnival collection that they did, which is really fun. And this is Sucre de Cotton. I start with an accent and end it not. This is very much like cotton candy. It is blue cotton candy. This kind of has that fresh cotton candy smell to it, like when you're getting it, like when they're actually making it, not the bagged stuff. Like, we're talking they're making it in front of you, they're swirling the, you know, stick in it, and it's like just cooling down almost. It has a little bit of that going on where you can really smell the sugar kind of caramelizing in it. It's really quite good. Super sugary, super sweet. Dare I say, like almost, I was gonna say sweeter than the Pink Sugar, but I feel like Pink Sugar is like on the sweetness level of like Sweet and Low. And I don't know how you guys taste sugars and fake sugars and all that stuff, but to me, Sweet and Low is like way sweeter than regular sugar. This smells like regular sugar, like this, like super sweet, super duper sweet, but there's something about Pink Sugar from AQUOLINA that has almost like a fake sugar sweetness, like the level is past regular sugar. Anyway, I really like this one. This is one of my top recommendations out of here. I'm gonna try to like asterisk the ones that I really love, and I think for $25, this one's definitely a good one, and I feel like I get decent wear time. I don't feel like the Le Monde Gourmand perfumes last a really long time. Honestly, even though these are eau de parfums, I feel like they're more like colognes, you know, like they don't have always the best lasting power, but this one stays on me a decent amount of time and it's pretty linear overall as well. So I find I don't get a ton of change, because sometimes that can happen with these scents as well, where you'll spray it and in the first couple of minutes you'll get a certain scent, but then in the dry down, if it lasts even a little bit, it's way different. This one stays that really great cotton candy scent. I really quite like this. I also get almost like blue icy vibes from this too, so it has that kind of thing going for it. It's a really great option. Pretty sure it's going to be limited edition, so for that one, if you're interested, I would probably pick it up sooner rather than later. I'm only more recently getting into Le Monde Gourmand scents, but I do think that their stuff doesn't always stay around, so that's one to check out if you haven't. So next I have SKYLAR's Boardwalk Delight. This is one of the scents that really got me into cotton candy. Like when this came out, I was so excited, so intrigued to try it, and it did not disappoint, but I loved that it was something just a little bit different. It's straight up cotton candy. Like I would overall say like this is undoubtedly a cotton candy full-on fragrance, but it's done so differently. This has like a freshness to it, almost like laundry detergent sheets, like something almost clean like that, but then it has that cotton candy. It has a little bit of a coconut note to it. Nothing too coconutty, nothing that takes it to beachy in any real way, but it is so good, so delicious and unique. I love again that it's not just like pink sugar. There's something a little bit more elevated, I feel like, about this cotton candy scent, but again, it's still delivering full on cotton candy. So this is one I definitely would check out. It was limited initially, but they've brought it into the full size, so it's in sprayer form. I can't wait to get my hands on that bottle. I've just been kind of savoring the rollerball since I got it, but I definitely really love this one, and it's one of my top recommendations. I feel like out of the straight up cotton candy scents, the Le Monde Gourmand and the SKYLAR are my two faves, and they're both definitely different from each other for sure. I feel like the SKYLAR again has that like freshness to it, and there's also something slightly creamy coming off and a little bit more vanillic to this one as well, whereas the Le Monde Gourmand is just straight up like sugar and almost again has like a warm caramelized smell to it. Next for straight up cotton candy scents, this one is from Truly. It's the unicorn fruit scent, and this is basically supposed to be cotton candy, and this is actually one of my least favorites. Like if you're really looking for a cotton candy scent, this one's more on the bottom for me. It almost goes a little bit more syrupy. If I'm gonna go with something like this scent, I really wanted to just be unabashedly sweet and kind of weirdly powdery and kind of medicinal. Like it's just really hitting on that. I'm gonna go with pink sugar. You know, it's like a little bit cheaper. It's more of a classic. It stays on forever. I just don't think for the $45 that this one is, that it's like the best. So just giving you, I guess, a review of this one, I would stay away from that and either go with pink sugar or go with my other two. Like these are really the two. And then the other straight up cotton candy, I have two from Bath & Body Works that are body sprays. I'm obsessed with cotton candy clouds lately. It's so funny. You know, scents just hit you differently, but cotton candy clouds is the perfect straight up cotton candy body mist, okay? The name says it all. Like this is just straight up cotton candy to me. There is nothing else for me to say, okay? The note to me in here is just like, and cotton candy. It's super sugary. I don't get any of that warmth or caramelized feeling from it. It's more airy and just kind of lightweight. It has a little bit of something maybe vanilla to it, but nothing like creamy at all. It's just so good. And I think one of the things that really makes this fragrance work for me is the fact that it is a body mist. I feel like it kind of lends itself to being airy and light and not overly concentrated, because I feel like the scent of cotton candy can definitely change in its concentration. I feel like I'm taking cotton candy so seriously, but that's kind of what I do, I guess. I'm trying to really give you guys the differences between like a similar note between all of these. But I love that this is airy. It's just so perfect to put on when I want this like sweet, yummy cotton candy scent. It's just going to be uplifting, but not stick around too long, not get cloying, not get, you know, gross on me. I really love this. And then the other cotton candy scent, this is Pastel Skies from Bath & Body Works. The notes are on the back on this one. So it has soft cloudberries, pink spun sugar, and coconut musk. And in some ways, this reminds me of the SKYLAR. It is not the same scent as the SKYLAR, but it is more of that clean kind of coconut thing going on. You can definitely smell the coconut in this one, and then that sugariness that's in here. Again, very airy, very light. I would say this one's less like a straight up cotton candy scent and more a fragrance that has a cotton candy note to it. So you smell that sugariness, but it has those other things going on, but really good as well. If you see this, I think this has been re-promoted. Same with Cotton Candy Cloud. So I don't know what version I have here, but these are ones to look out for if they re-promote promote them. I think sometimes you can get things secondhand. I wouldn't pay up necessarily for these, but definitely great body mist. And I really actually love cotton candy in a body mist form because, again, it keeps it a nice concentration for me that is fun but doesn't get too syrupy or thick or heavy or anything like that, because that's one of the things I really love about a cotton candy scent is that airiness. I think next we're going to be moving on to perfumes that just have a cotton candy note, but they have other things going on. So they're not straight up cotton candy, but I do feel like I can actually smell the cotton candy going on in these. I didn't want to just pick anything that had a cotton candy note in it. So the next two perfumes are kind of similar, so I'm going to talk about them kind of together. And I have Byredo Sundays and Finery's Magnetic Candy. If you don't know, Finery is a more inexpensive brand at Target. It's newer, and they do like dupes, like they're basically a dupe brand, and this scent profile is very similar to Sundays from Byredo. So I'm going to start off with Sundays. This is a very neroli heavy and jasmine heavy scent, so there's some really strong florals in here, also a lot of strong citrus, so it can come off a little sharp at the top. Okay, it really can. I don't think that this is for everyone. Like, even the first time I smelled it, I was like, bug spray city, like what is that? That is like a little too bitter to my nose. But then there's this really interesting part of it. At the end of my smell, I get that cotton candy, that sweetness, and it kind of like pulls it up. It's almost like my experience of smelling this is like I've dropped something that is buoyant into a body of water, but when it splashes down, it kind of goes under the water and then finally pops its head back up. That's how I feel like this fragrance is with the kind of ride I'm on with my nose. So it's like I first smell it, I'm just like, whoa, lots of neroli. I feel like that bitter neroli is in here. Also, the citruses in here are really strong and a little astringent, but then that sweetness creeps back up and it pops its head up there, and I love it. I think it's really fresh for summer. I think it's really fun and still kind of refined, like definitely a fun way to do cotton candy, a little bit unexpected. And I do highly suggest smelling this one. Again, it wasn't one I loved initially, but it was one that I kept going back to, and eventually I just fell in love with it. If you want like the lighter version of that scent, I would go with Magnetic Candy. To me, this is, you know, supposed to be kind of duping Sundays, but I don't feel like they're the same, and I would say this is like totally worth your $30. A really great fragrance on its own. I actually find this to be kind of a mix of Sundays and Baccarat because this one is a lot sweeter, but it still has that airiness to it. The notes on this one on Fragrantica are pomelo, violet leaf, and cotton candy, of course. I love the way the citrus is. The florals in here kind of read like neroli, like they read very similar to me to Sundays, but the sweetness is definitely stronger in this one. It's not nearly as bitter, not nearly as astringent, and I think a little bit easier to wear if you're not wanting as sharp of a ride as I feel like Sundays gives. It's really, really great. And I feel like it's hard to find affordable perfumes that I really just truly love, and this one I definitely do. So this one I really highly recommend. Really good one and a fun one with a cotton candy note. Next, we knew Yum Pistachio Gelato 33 was going to be in here. This is the newest one from CACAO, which someone left a comment saying that the rumor is that the new CACAO fragrance that's going to come out like next has banana. Are we excited for that? Tell me if you're excited. I was literally just thinking like, there's not enough banana scents out there, and I am not saying I love a banana scent all the time, but I do want to smell banana scents, and I want people to be making them. I want to be smelling them. I want to be seeing if I want to buy them. Like, let's go. I'm so excited. I hope that rumor is true. I really hope that rumor is true. Anyway, as the name suggests, this is a pistachio gelato fragrance, and I have a whole review on this, so I will leave that down below. I'm going to try to keep it a little bit shorter in this video, but I really do get the cotton candy note in here, and that's why it's in here. This has a ton of notes. There's sweet rum, whipped cream, marshmallows. Like, there's so many notes in this fragrance, but I actually get a lot of the cotton candy because to me this comes off powdery and sugary sweet. It doesn't have a ton of real creaminess, like lactonic creaminess to it to me that I was kind of expecting. It has a freshness, again, kind of like the laundry sheets, kind of like the Boardwalk Delight. Like, I've mentioned this in my review, but if you like how this one is done, if you like Boardwalk Delight, I feel like you have a good chance of liking the kind of fresh take that this has as well. But I definitely get that airiness. There's a little bit of nuttiness coming through too. And I describe this kind of as almost a pistachio, like opaque pistachio gelato jello. To me, anyway, that's kind of what I get. Like, I don't get as much of the creaminess as I was kind of wanting / expecting, but after I got past that, I really do love this as a sweet, fun spring fragrance. And it's one, the more I wear it, the more I enjoy it. It's definitely more airy on me and packaging has that kind of lightweightness that I think also reminds me of the cotton candy that's in here too. So I highly suggest smelling this one if you haven't yet. It's a little bit divisive. Not everyone loves it, but I'm already like, I don't know, a fourth of the way in. Like, I have a good dent going in. I really love that one. And then last, I thought I would pull out one of my Britney Spears Fantasy perfumes. This is Rainbow Fantasy, and this one has some notes of finger lime, I think it is. You definitely smell the lime. There's some pear in it as well, and I feel like those definitely come across. It's in the dry down that I really do get the cotton candy, and the kind of sharpness that's coming from the bit of pear and the bit of lime that's in here, I feel like die down just enough where you really do get that kind of sweet, sugary cotton candy smell. I think this is a nice one for something more affordable. I think I got this on FragranceNet. It's kind of hard with like the flankers of Fantasy, if you can find them cheap or not. It just kind of depends. You might have to do a little bit more searching, but I did think that the cotton candy note in this comes out enough to mention it in the video. I don't know if I would go out and like purchase it just for the cotton candy note. I think you do get the cotton candy from it, and it's different than like the Fantasy DNA, like the original Fantasy DNA, enough that you really do smell some of those differences. But if you have it, or you happen to really like, you know, this line, it's one that you could check out. If you really want just straight up cotton candy, I definitely suggest some of the other ones I've already mentioned, but I wanted to still mention it in here. And now we're moving on to my honorable mentions, things that don't have cotton candy notes in them, but I feel like they give cotton candy vibes, and these are some of my favorite ones in here. Again, I feel like they're able to have a little bit more complexity to them because they aren't sticking to just having the cotton candy, but again, still give those vibes. So first, I have to mention Sunset Hour. To me, this is raspberry sponge sugar on the beach for summer. It is so good. This is like expensive cotton candy. Like, there's no cotton candy note, but I'm telling you, that's what I get from this, and that is something I love. I love that it still feels a little bit more refined while still being super whimsical, super fun. This is a really easy wear. I mean, I don't suggest you should blind buy anything, but this is one if you're trying to get into niche scents and you like really sweet stuff, you like a lot of the scents at Bath & Body Works, I think you're really, really gonna love this one from Goldfield and Banks. This is like a summer banger for me. Like, it just smells so good. It smells so freaking good. There's raspberry in here. It's a little bit woody though, and I just think it's such a nice refined smell, and this definitely has that like really airy, air spun kind of thing going on that gives me the cotton candy vibe. So this is like raspberry cotton candy in the summer. So, so good. And it's like a little sexy, little flirty, like, love that one. Next, this is MAISON Tahite, and this is Vicious Cacao. Now, this to me is if you had a caramel chocolate cotton candy. I hope that makes sense. This is super sugary, super sweet, super airy, has that airiness, but it's giving you caramel and chocolate instead of like a normal cotton candy fruity smell, and I think that's so unique. It's so different. I love that this is doing caramel and chocolate, which tend to be like heavier notes, you know, they tend to be a little bit more dense, a little bit heavier, a little bit more for like winter and fall, but this could totally be worn in the summer. This has that airiness about it. It doesn't weigh you down. It's not cloying like that, but it's still super sweet. And so to me, this definitely gives me cotton candy vibes. It's like, seriously, if someone was like, I'm gonna make caramel chocolate cotton candy, that's the flavor of the cotton candy. That's what this scent is to me. It's a little bit powdery, has a little bit of spice, nothing too much, just really beautiful, really sweet. I think it's definitely one to sample or try out. I bought mine from Twisted Lily, so you can check it out there and get a sample there, or you can go into Scent Bar. They also carry this, and I've smelled it in store there. And I also love that this isn't too expensive. Like, in the niche world, it's not, you know, too pricey. I have to mention Baccarat because I feel like Baccarat is constantly compared to sponge sugar and has kind of that cotton candy airy sweetness about it. This is like the most refined cotton candy though. Like, it has a sweetness, but it does not smell like carnival cotton candy. It just has an airy sweetness. It's so good. You guys already know my love for Baccarat though, so I'm gonna keep it really short because my goodness, you know, like, we gotta keep it moving. My last cotton candy smell alike, I wanted to mention Ariana Grande Mod Vanilla. This is one of my favorites. I am like over halfway done with this fragrance at this point. I love this, okay? I'm obsessed with this one. To me, this is like vanilla cotton candy in my head. This is like a nice, soft, sweet, airy vanilla, and I love it so much. It has a little bit of fruit in here, but I don't feel like this one ever goes fruity, and I just love how sugary this vanilla is. So that's why it also gives me the cotton candy vibes, because it's not a dense vanilla. It's not really creamy. It's not rich in those ways. Instead, it's really sugared, and so that mixed with the lightness, the little bit of fruit that's that's in here, it just really gives me a vanilla cotton candy kind of smell, and I love it so much. This is like my favorite one for just cozying around, but really for night. I love getting out of the shower and spraying this on and then smelling it while I'm like in my sheets. It's like the best. It's the perfect amount of smell for me that's also not overwhelming and just like so cozy and also still refined though. I know that the Ariana Grande perfumes can kind of get sweet, especially like Sweet Like Candy and like the earlier ones, but to me this has that same, like, it's definitely sweet, but it's a little more refined and I feel like a little more expensive, at least to my nose. Like, I just love it. I love it so much. So if you want like vanilla cotton candy, I think you should try this out. And I love getting a cloud around me. That's where I really feel like this shines. Like, you just spray it all around you, let it settle in. It is so good. Okay, and last, talking about cotton candy scents that are refined, you wouldn't expect it, guys. This is my bonus item, my bonus item. This is the cotton candy scrub from Tree Hut. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so good. This is full because I've already gone through one. And if you've ever smelled the Tree Hut stuff, I feel like it's hit or miss. Some of them are such amazing scents. Some of them, to me, when it comes to those fruity scents, they just smell a little cheap. I'm sorry, they do. They smell like the price that they are. And so when I ordered cotton candy, I was hopeful, but I expected it to be kind of syrupy and heavy and kind of cloying, but kind of fun, but it's a little bit much. No, this is the most refined cotton candy smell probably out of all of these, especially the straight up cotton candies. If you think that this is gonna be sweet, it's not gonna be nearly as sweet as you think it is. I am shocked every time I smell it. If you blind smell this, I don't know if you would even know it's a cotton candy scent. It's only once you know and you're smelling it, you're like, yeah, I get that it's cotton candy, but it's sugary and sweet, but not overly sweet. It's kind of subtle even. It's kind of subtle, and I really love that about it. It feels fresh when I use this. I love the sweetness that I get, but it's not overpowering and it's so good. So I really highly suggest smelling this. Like, if you're at the store, give this a sniff. Even if you don't like cotton candy scents, this could be something you still really, really like. And I love the Tree Hut scrubs, especially for like scrubbing your underarms and stuff. I feel like they're a really nice, affordable scrub. They're very scrubby and I love the color. And there's also a little bit of shimmer going on in this product. I'm like getting it everywhere, but this is a really great cotton candy scent. So highly, highly suggest this if you guys haven't tried it. Okay, those are all the cotton candy scents I want to talk about today. I do have like some on my wish list, like some, let me see, let me read them off really fast. The Thomas Kosmala candy scent, I really want to smell that. That has a cotton candy note in it. I have smelled the Min New York Magic Circus scent. I couldn't find the sample or I would bust it back out, and it's been a while since I smelled it, but that's definitely like a niche version of cotton candy. Like, it's very interesting. It also has like peanuts, I think, in it, and so that one's interesting for sure. And then AN Other FL18, I don't know how you even say that. I'll put it somewhere on the screen. That's another one that has a cotton candy note that I'm really interested in, but I'd love to know your guys' recommendations. If I had to pick like a top 3 out of here, let me try to do that. I think I'm gonna go with Boardwalk Delight. I just love it. I really do. I'm not gonna pick from the things that don't have a cotton candy note. That'll help me out a little bit. I really do suggest, if you love cotton candy, to give this one a sniff because it's just so affordable and it just gives you that straight up cotton candy vibe in such a good way. But I also love Cotton Candy Clouds and then maybe Magnetic Candy because I think more people would like it, whereas like the Kaoli and the Sundays, I feel like people are gonna be more torn on them. So yeah, I hope that's helpful. I don't know. I like almost all of these. I think they're really fun. I'd love to know. Once again, let me know your favorites down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any requests for like fun notes like this, like I have marshmallow that's like on my list to do at some point, let me know down below because I think that would be really fun. But I'm gonna leave it here. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.